Reggae interviews. Word sound power.
We are here in Leicester with an artist who's been on our radar for almost 2 years now. She hails from Linstead in Jamaica and goes by the stage name of Soul Rebel. She's here in the UK to promote her latest music releases. I want to give a warm welcome to the Soul Rebel, live and direct here in Leicester.
Thank you, Shrik. It's great to be here. Great to be on Reggae interviews.
Of course, you know what? We've been meaning to do this for quite a while, and I've got to give thanks to Lady D for making the connection.
Yeah, man. Big up music media management, Lady Diana, every time.
Okay. I kind of feel like you like the vibes here in the UK because you were here a year ago. How are you finding your time so far?
I love it. I love being here. It's two different type of weathers. Last year it was hot.
Yes.
And this year the summer is cold. But I love it here. You know what? The UK has embraced me more than anywhere I've been. So yeah, I love it here. Something sweet me over here.
Most definitely. Now, you've been over here in the UK. Recently, you were at Notting Hill Carnival 2023. All I can say is, what a vibe.
Thank you. It was fun. I had a good time. I had a really good time.
I think we've loved seeing some of your performances at places like the 4Play Sound, King Tubby's, the mighty Channel 1 with Mikey Dread. What an experience that must have been.
I just can't explain. I really have to just big up my team, you know, and also Lady Diana seemed to know almost everybody. She have the link, you know. When I went to King Tubby's on the first day, that Sunday, I almost didn't know what to expect because I've never been to a carnival that big. I've been to carnival in Miami and I've passed by carnival in Jamaica, but I've never seen that many people. I really haven't. And then once Daddy Fridge called me forward on the stage, I just felt like, you know what, this is my opportunity, because when I was here last year, I believe we had one performance with the Black Brits out in East London, and it was pretty good. You know, nobody much know me, but the fact was that once I came back, persons had heard King Majesty, and I came with an EP, the drama EP, and then I left with King Majesty. Yes. You know, I left with a big song. So when I left, King Majesty actually wasn't released when I left London last year. So at this point, I was actually looking forward to me and Al Kebilan, my PR in Jamaica. We were like, yo, we can't wait for you to go back, go perform King Majesty in a London. And trust me, that's how it felt. It was as beautiful a vibe for me as it was for the people. People were like grabbing off my hand, and I was just like, yo, this is fabulous, you know? And I just gave it my all. I loved the vibe. The energy was good. And I was just happy to manifest singing King Majesty here in London. Yeah,
because that's obviously where this song was created and born. So I think it's a blessing.
A full circle. It was a full circle moment for me Sunday, and then King Tubby's, the whole crew. And Daddy Fridge them was like, yo, come back tomorrow, you know. I was like, Monday again? And so what I did was I flip it when I would Monday, because I wanted to do something. I saw other persons performing, Razor B and some other artists, and they sang some songs that the people knew that maybe they didn't sing. And one of my songs that I always love to sing is Marcia Griffith's the I Shall Sing Pan the Answer Rhythm, you know. And I just did it in Soul Rebel style, and it's one of the songs that I always sing too, because I love it. It's original, and also you can do things with it, you know. So my bossa one drop and my bossa mix, and we really did it. And so Monday when I came now, I did I Shall Sing first, you know, to kind of get the crowd in the vibe and warm them up. And then by the time I touched King Majesty, man, it was just melting. Yeah, it was a good vibe, yeah.
And you were there alongside part of the team, Kirk Diamond, Junior Dangerous, and a legend, Shinehead.
Oh my goodness. So big up to Kirk Diamond, because it was the first time I was meeting him. Lady Diana always rave about her Kirk Diamond. So it was like for me to actually meet him. He's a humble, guy. He's very talented. So I was so glad to meet Kirk Diamond. Big up Kirk Diamond. Junior Dangerous, I know from the Mixmaster J platform.
Yes.
And big ups to Mixmaster J, because Mixmaster J has really been championing Soul Rebel in the UK. And so I met Junior Dangerous through the platform, but I never met him in person. So it was like, to meet Junior Dangerous in person. He's a very talented DJ. We were very happy to meet each other, and it was a great vibe. Man, I heard that we might have been like going on a float or doing something with Shined. Lady D was like, we're going to link up with Shined. You'll meet Shined. But the experiences that I've had with Shined for this week, I would have never dreamed that I would have gotten that type of opportunity. He wants everybody to shine,
Yes.
and he doesn't see himself as the big icon legend that we see him as. He's very humble. So it was like he gave me an opportunity to stand beside him and say, Rebel music, rope in this, and then him call me Soul Rebel, and then him call me Miss Linstead, and him just give me a bag of AKA. And then Shined is a person that has many sides to him. You have the roots rock Shined, you have the DJ Shined, then you have the rapper Shined, then you have the singer Shined. And then on Just School Radio, big up to Anton and Mixmaster J again, we got a chance to vibe. I think we vibed out for 4 hours on the live. And when they started to play the remix of the Strive is one of my favorite songs. Like before my born, Strive I play. Strive is one of my favorite songs of all time because it's very motivational. You know what I mean? It's teaching people to try. And that's a big part of my moniker, to encourage myself and to encourage other people. That's what, that's what I do, especially with a background in education. That is what I do. So it's like to be able to hear Strive going. And for me, him only sing a piece of it. So I was like, him sing a piece of it and him gone. Me just run up in ATC, man. And when I started to sing Strive, him get in a spirit. And we were able to do like a combination. I will never forget that moment. I'm never gonna want to like leave UK with that type of energy. I'm glad to say I'm gone back to California so I could go home in peace. You know what I mean? Because that type of energy would have really just kept me here. It's been a magical time with Shined. Yeah.
Now, the big single that is tearing up the dance and airwaves that was produced right here in the UK, King Majesty. But before we get there, I want to share some of your musical journey from Linstead to the world.
Thank you.
Linstead has got a really rich musical history. We've got artists including Max Romeo, Joseph Hill, Tony Curtis, Jitsi King, Ibamar, Zana, Azizi Romeo, engineers and producers like Rolly from Tough Gong, the legendary Soul Defenders band, Clive Hunts, Phyllis Dillon. The list goes on and on and on.
Jem Myers, Freddie McKay and the Soul Defenders. Yeah, man. Well, heap of people come from Linstead. Yeah. Ibamar is actually, me and Ibamar grew up on the same street, East Avenue.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm the little girl in Willa, wait in vain.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Soul Rebel Nights.
Okay. So tell our viewers today, what was life like for you growing up in Linstead?
Linstead is a country place, but it's like a town at the same time, because Linstead is in the Vale of St. Catherine, where people from the mountains of St. Catherine come down to do business. Them carry them aki come a Linstead market. My grandmother sold in the Linstead market. She sold dry goods. She would sew pajamas, so boxers, until she was able to go to Kingston and buy, until she was able to go to Curacao and Mexico and buy goods and bring back to the Linstead market. So she was a dry goods vendor in the Linstead market. So I actually grew up going to Linstead market to link up my grandmother, and Linstead market money send me go to big school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Linstead was a very special place, is a very special place, because I'm in Linstead all the time. My father comes from Linstead, but my mother comes from Bogwalk, Church Road specifically. And so this union just allowed me to explore. There's loads of rivers in Linstead, loads of cook shops, loads of schools, churches, and things like that. I did piano lessons at the Methodist Church with Miss Clementson in Linstead. Linstead. I've just been an active child in that town, and so it's like the best of country and also the best of town going on in Linstead, because everything that happens in Kingston eventually comes to Linstead, including the bad man them. Unfortunately. Yeah, but it's a beautiful place to be. The weather is really nice.
Cooler.
At certain times in Linstead, you have to wear a sweater, just like if you were in foreign anywhere, because it's super cold. It's very foggy. When you go like on Highway 2000, it's almost like you're driving through the clouds.
I've experienced that, you know.
Yeah, man. So Linstead was a fabulous place to grow up. I went to Yorton Primary School. And it was a great opportunity. It's a drive even further deep into the country to go to Yorton. When I did my exams, I ended up at Holy Childhood High School in Halfway Tree. So that is where I really know I was a country girl, because them always try to make we know say a country will come from when I know nothing about Linstead. Luckily, I used to board with one of my aunts, Auntie Grace, in Hewenden, and I used to board with one of my cousins, Donna, in Red Hills Road. So I got a little bit of experience in town, but most, and if not all of my experience growing up happened in Linstead, and I'm very proud of it. I'm glad to be a Linstead girl. Like Shined says, Soul Rebel, aka Miss Linstead.
Now, I know that music's been part of your family because your father was part of a very well-known band at Studio One, the Soul Defenders band.
Yes, for a little time Daddy played with them.
What age were you when music really kind of touched you as a performing artist?
Oh, goodness. Okay, so it touched me my whole life. But by the time we got in the studio working on drama, I would say around 10 years ago, I would say I still wasn't seasoned. I still wasn't ready, as a lot of people would say. But I knew in my heart that music is going to be a part of my life forever. Going to college was a thing that my family insisted on. So it wasn't like I could do like some of my friends. I have a lot of friends that once them finish high school, boom, them gone in a music and them no business about nothing. I was raised differently. It was like you had to have an education. You had to have a degree or several degrees. And I got a couple of them. And I think I felt safe, and I feel like if I need to have a job, I can always get a job or whatever. But I think after having a job, after having my first child, and after understanding what life is all about and the passions of life, I knew that music had to be, my way. I think some of my friends kind of feel vexed because they might say, you never business about music, and then now all of a sudden you want to come run off the industry, But me just tell them, say, just give me a chance, man. Me not go take on a seat. Me not go take on a space. I just want my place, And I think I've earned my spot. Being raised and being mentored by Ronald Privy Clark from the Soul Defenders, I feel like even when he would say, you for the pan Smile Jamaica, you for the pan Irie FM, you for the pan this show, you for the pan Rebel Salute. I think I even tried one time to audition for Rebel Salute, and they didn't think I was good enough at all. So hopefully they see that, Soul Rebel is ready for those types of stages and situations, especially after like a Notting Hill Carnival, especially after UK opening their doors to me. I really hope that, Jamaica and those different organizations will start to open up their doors for me because, I'd say the past, a little bit less than 10 years, I know for a fact that music is the rest of my life, Yeah.
Now, we touched on the Soul Defenders band, along with bands like the Scatterlights, the Soul Vendors, Sound Dimension. Right. They created what I'm going to call some of our musical gems, classics. Burning Spears, Dennis Brown's, the Abyssinians. Yes. You mentioned that your father was part of the Soul Defenders band. Yes. He was a drummer. Yes. Give us an idea of some of the songs that he may have played on. So,
in play on Foggy Road. You ever hear them tune there? Is a lucky thing I never get. Swell-headed. Them tune there. In play on Creation Rebel.
Okay.
Those songs he didn't play on a lot of them because he was a junior. So he wasn't an official member. He was more of a fill-in. You have brethren like Margie, Vin Morgan, who is still in Linstead right now. Big up Vin Morgan. Vin Morgan was one of the leaders of the band, and like I tell you, I are privy, and they were more staples. They played on more. But what I think happened to my dad was, as a youth, long before I was born, I privy didn't want to leave him in Linstead. When he was going to the studio and going with Coxsone, he would go, and I privy would bring him. He actually had a band that they called Black Scorpio. Okay. And they actually did, his band, my dad's band, did some music for Coxsone outside of the Soul Defenders.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even right now, he has brethren that he work with that are doing documentation about the music and help him to find some of his work. Because not even him don't know what happened to some of his work. Just like a lot of artists that used to be at Studio One and so many of those places, they've never been paid more than their weekly wages. They've never seen their name on a record, you know, for doing anything at all. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love roots rock reggae music, because I think it's one of the humblest things you could have ever done in your life. Yeah.
Because I think I talk to a lot of artists that have performed down at Studio One and musicians, and they always say the same thing. It was almost like the hunger, that passion to actually do something. That's all it was.
Yeah.
People didn't really have that recognition that what I'm going to be doing today is going to influence generations for years and years, decades.
Yeah. I met a big bad producer. I don't know if you ever heard about John FX.
Yes.
Big up John FX. John FX came when I did my video launch in Florida. And someone was like, "You ever meet John FX?" I was like, "Who?" I'm a jump, you know, because John FX released a vintage reggae album. And when I listened to the album, I'm like, "But John, this had that tune, this had that tune, this had that tune, this had that." It's like he mixed the soul with the original rhythms, and some of the beats, some of the way that he plays the drums is like John Screw drums, big time, you know. And so if you don't know about that era, then you're gonna miss a lot. You know, you're gonna think some things are happening for the first time that have actually happened many times over. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you've been surrounded by music from a really young age. Who would you say are your musical mentors?
Well, outside of Aya Privy and the Soul Defenders, because Aya Privy was there really to teach me guitar, to teach me a lot about the music. I really love the I3s. Okay. Because you're a girl, right? Who do you see most of the time? I see Marcia Griffiths, I see Judy Mowat. Even when Judy Mowat crossed over and started to do gospel, I was like, oh, shucks. You know, but I still found a place to appreciate her, you know, afterwards. I love Who Called the Game, Rita Marley. I love her vibe and her style. The Phyllis Dillons. I also really love Tony Curtis and Jigsy King. Not just because they come from Linstead, but they had a big hit, The Butterfly. Yes. And they were like in the space in a major way, kind of making a lot of rave and making a whole lot of noise right from our town in Linstead. So I was really loving that. There was an era when they had Mega Bantan, Buju Bantan.
Ricky General.
I love that vibe. General Degree. I love that vibe because it's like a singing and a sing J on some of the sweetest rhythms, those dancehall, those 90s rhythms. So I'm definitely a 90s baby. That's like my era. I think probably when I was real little, they would say to me, I bet you say you can't dance in front of your grandmother, because my grandma was like a major Christian evangelist. And when me hear them rhythm, they start to play, me start do everything. Me start do the butterfly, me start do the ginger fly, me start do every fly there was in the book. I just super love the 90s era and the 90s music. I know a lot of people say that 90s is like their favorite. All of those artists from the 90s. I also love JC Lodge.
Okay.
because as a female singer and just that whole vibration, I love it. And there was this, I don't remember her name, but there was this girl that sing with Buju Banton. She sing a song, Second Class Love.
Carol Gonzalez.
Man, I used to love that song. And those things really, they gave me an impression like you could still come from the old school and still do things that were modern.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that era really influenced me, and all those that fabulous music that came out of Kingston too, because you have the penthouse music.
Yes.
Very strong. And I love that stuff. Even when I do my live performances, I always I got called for a one drop. Because I feel like that is like the Admiral Bailey, like the style. One drop right there, son, the people actually get to hear what you are saying. Instead of just jumping up and you calm down the music, you lower the band, or you make them turn down the rhythm, and you really connect with the audience. And I think I learned that from the 90s.
Yeah. Well, I think that you're sort of sharing a lot of memories of probably when you were growing up in the 90s.
Big time.
And that music stood the test of time.
Yes, it did. Yes, it does. Big time.
And I think it's also sort of like evident in the songs that you released today.
Yes.
Where you're coming from the old school.
Yes, big time. I love it. I love that old school vibe. I used to listen to some. It's crazy. When I was going to college, I went to college in Florida, and I was a part of the Black Students Union, and so they introduced me to like another side. They introduced me to John Coltrane. They introduced me to Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald, and I started to listen to some of that music. And some of the music of like the Curtis Mayfield and those that era, I was like, but wait, such and such do this song. I realized that the music that I was loving from Jamaica, the Sanchez, because I love Sanchez.
Who doesn't?
Sanchez influenced me so much that when I would listen to Sanchez music, that's how I really mastered singing background vocals, singing the third and the fifth. Because when Sanchez would sing, I would sing the third to it or the fifth to it, and it would kind of help me to really set my background vocals in a certain way, because I used to sing a lot of background vocals. I still do. I did the background vocals on King Majesty. I did the background vocals on almost all my songs. I've never had someone sing background for me.
Wow.
Not on a record. And I probably had one or two persons sing live for me, and then afterwards, because I can't pay them, I'm in a bus. I can't afford to have them again. So hopefully one day I'll have some steady background vocalists, where I don't have to do that. But I love it. I love background vocals. It gives the music texture. It gives it a whole different feel.
It's like another layer of richness.
It is another layer of richness. So when I hear the Sanchez music now, I think Sanchez sing all of those songs. Me never know Sienna Sanchez sing them until I went to college and started to get experience hearing original R&B and certain music. That's when I know that Sanchez didn't sing those songs.
It's funny you say that, because a lot of the big hits from Studio One, even, they were actually original American R&B songs.
Exactly.
And Coxsone Dodd used to bring records in, scratch off the label so that Duke Reid wouldn't see what he's playing.
Yes.
And that's how a lot of those records actually came, the big old songs by people like Alton Ellis and things that we love.
Yes.
The staples.
Oh my goodness. All right. So the Alton Ellis that blew me away was that tune, the others were untrue now, Blood, Sweat and Tears. Jesus, peace. When I heard that Blood, Sweat and Tears, I was just like, oh my goodness. I couldn't believe it. But then Alton with it, wow, wow, he did like a whole different vibe. He brought a total different vibe to that song, I've Lost That Love. And I was just like, wow. And I learned how they did it. They brought those records in. They had our artists sing them, make them big hits. The whole country is rocking to these songs, never knowing that these other artists sang them before. And I think it's part of the way that we pay homage to music, and a part of the way that we need to pay homage to music, because we love say people thief this from we and thief that from we. But we did a lot of stealing ourselves too. We did a whole lot of stealing. Maybe we don't want to call it stealing. We borrow it.
Yeah.
We borrow it. Yeah. We did a lot of borrowing.
Now, with your music, a lot of your early singles a lot of the early works you've done have been at a studio in Linstead,
yes.
Tabbath Productions.
Tabbath Productions, yes.
Talk to our viewers about Tabbath Productions.
Tabbath Productions is originated by my father, John Screw. One day you should go to Linstead and interview him. He's a very powerful man. You know, he had his mind set on doing music even when his family wasn't into it. I think his big brother Trevor really was the one that encouraged him to keep on and say, no man, you drum sound away, man, because he's a drummer. You know, he's a reggae drummer. And he always had a band. Project band, Black Scorpio band. He always had a band, and they used to play a song called TJ Connection. So at a point in time, he was after was done playing the Burning Spear and them little thing there, he went into playing sound, and he used to run the sound system scene in Linstead. And they used to have a skate land, and he had a boss named Natila. Big up Natila. Natila is still alive and in Linstead today. And I think my mommy used to work in the bar. Okay. Yeah, it was a thing, you know. And they had this thing called the fan club in Linstead. And even though it was before my time, I used to hear them talk about it all the time. That it created a lot of love and harmony, and it created a positive thing to do for the people in Linstead. A lot of people know him from the fan club. He was the president of the fan club for a lot of years. I think he had to dodge being the president. Like they would say, who you vote for as president? And when him said John Scream, say, I decline. So he would be the boss of the fan club, but he has a lot of respect in Linstead. And Tabbath Productions is his label. He wanted to do his own thing. He didn't want to do Coxsone Dodd's thing. He didn't want to do a Studio One thing, even though Studio One definitely is his origins. And then I Privy got sick. He had like a stroke, and then he started to come around, and at that time I was done with college, and I decided that I was going back to Linstead. And I went back to Linstead, and at that time I Privy and him start to move closer again. You know, I Privy back on the road again, back playing guitar and stuff again, and they started to just do a lot of production. And that's how the first songs of the EP really came about. Also with a virgin named Peter Pan Williamson, one of his friends from Florida, because like I tell you, we're dual citizens. So we eventually became citizens of the United States and of Jamaica, and we would travel back and forth. Yeah, it was just a thing that my family did. We travel back and forth, and some of us who were real rebels, we decided, say, can't bother with Merkaya, man. And I also, you know, I wanted my son to be a yard man. I wanted him to be a youth to understand Jamaica and understand the difference between being locked up in the house in America and being out in the open in Jamaica. And I think he'll love me for that when he grow up, you know? Big time, yeah. But Tabbath Productions that's John Screw's baby. You know? Yeah, and it's still going strong.
And one of your earliest singles, Drama,
yes,
that was recorded at Tabbath Productions, and
yes,
it was co-written by yourself and the pen,
the great pen. Hopeton Lindo is a very special person. Remember I was saying to you that we were dual citizens. So when we left Jamaica to go to America, we're living in Florida, and that's where we met up with Hopeton Lindo. And my father was one of the first persons to create a home studio in Florida. And so Hopeton Lindo would be one of the people that would come by, and we worked together in the studio. I think the first couple times I recorded Drama, me never like how me sound at all. Me I said, boy, I don't know. And Drama was one of the songs that helped me to work out who I was as an artist. And I think we did it for a few years. I even did it more live then eventually when I was ready to record Drama, it was like a masterpiece because I had done it so many times live, you know. And also it helped the band to really find out who they really are, the Cornerstone family band, to that's my dad's band, to really establish who they were. The bass player Colin Basie, the keyboard player Peter Pan Williamson, my father the drummer, and the late Aya Privy on guitar, you know. And most of the things that we did, that was the unit. We also had other persons come in and out from different time. Also a youth out of Jamaica named Lampshade Music. He would come and play keyboard, and sometimes he would play guitar. And that was Cornerstone Family Band. So the Drama song was created for me to express myself both as a singer and to do the sing J aspects of myself, because I don't know, the 90s influenced me big time. So I was very grateful to Hopetoun Lindo for writing that song, and I believe he did songs for like JC Lodge and those people too. So once I understood who he was, I was even before I was excited to meet him, but I was very glad that he was a part of my beginnings. And Drama is the very first song that was released on all platforms June 19, 2022.
Wow.
Yep.
That song, it talks about a topic that I think is rife across everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And it's something that's been spoken about before, the gun.
The gun. The chorus says, you better put down the gun. And that's a woman talking to a man. Mom, auntie, sister, girlfriend, wife, talking to the brethren and telling him, say, even though I love you, I might have to separate from you if you can't put down the gun. Me not go inform, me not go call no police, but I'm going to separate myself from you if you don't put down the gun. And I think it's a big message. It's a message about standing up. Sometimes we benefit from crime, and because no one sees it, we take the money and we take the lifestyle and all of those things. And we should learn by watching Scarface and the Al Pacinos and the this and the that the when you're in the family, so to speak, when you're in the crime family, everyone suffers. Not just the community, but you yourself will suffer. You know what I mean? Them are gonna come for you.
It's only a matter of time.
Only a matter of time before them come for you. And so I was glad to be able to be the bearer of a message to say, listen, put down the gun, man, because even though I love you, I have to leave you, because this type of lifestyle is definitely not for me. Yeah.
That then sort of led to an EP, a 5-track EP, which included singles, including a cover of Do You Love Me?
Yes.
Pushing Through, and a beautiful cover of Natural Woman, Aretha Franklin.
Yes. That Natural Woman, I drew more to Aretha Franklin and Shaka Khan and those people. Like I said, when I was in college in the Black Students Union, we were learning a lot about black music and about black culture, and just how that Motown and that environment, you know, really influenced the music. And I was glad to be able to record Natural Woman. It's not officially out on all platforms. I think once I learn more about just the music business and know that I'm going to release these songs, but I'm not really going to make much money from them, I think I didn't really feel as eager, you know, at that point. So I hope that we'll try to figure it out, you know what I mean? But Natural Woman was definitely one of those songs that I enjoyed singing. It has no sing J in it. I really had to bring my singer to that song, and I was glad to just be able to have the range to manage it, because, you know, when we were recording it, it was like the chorus is in one key and then the verses are in the next key, and so it was just like by the time I get to that chorus, I really had to hit it, and it helped me to grow as a singer. I love that song. The Do You Love Me, when I recorded it, I was only thinking about John Holt, the old man them. And this is one of the old man songs. But it taught me how to sing in the pocket in the reggae style. And so I really love that about experiencing that Do You Love Me. And then when I further did research, I realized that Nat King Cole actually did that song, and John Holt redid that song, and then me go redo it, and many other persons are redoing it. Many remakes of Do You Love Me, and I truly enjoyed Do You Love Me. Also, Drama, I have to say, Drama and Do You Love Me, they got a touch up last year by Dean Fraser.
Oh wow.
So the final masters of those songs, the horns on those songs are Dean Fraser horns. So big up Dean, you know, for coming in and really doing a solid for me. Yeah.
And I know that you've had a chance to perform some of these songs at quite a few places, both in Jamaica and overseas. Yes. Share with our viewers some of the places where you've been able to perform.
All right, so I've performed in all over Jamaica Music Conference. I've been able to perform. Recently we did the Hillview Night Market. I went to the Studio One Boulevard and was able to do some stuff with Natty King. We're able to go to Weddy and do some stuff that was really nice. Big up Stone Love, big up Wee Pow, G-Fuss, Dwayne Pow. In the States, I've performed in Florida. I've performed in Connecticut. I've performed in the DMV, Washington, D.C. I've performed in Maryland. I've performed in New York, in like every borough. Queens, all over. Probably not Manhattan, but I performed a lot all over. Yeah. And then by the time we got here, East London, and then we mash up Carnival.
Now, it was around about just over a year ago when you first took a plane from Jamaica over to the United Kingdom. Yes. And that's where you managed to make a link up with Dillie from Stingray Records. Yes. Tell us how that link up came about.
That link up came about while in Jamaica. For the past 2 years, I've gotten the opportunity to work with Raomi Alkebulan, and he serves as my PR in Jamaica. And he works through music media management in the UK because he didn't come to the UK. He kind of handed me over to Lady Diana, and so everything in the UK, I really have to big up Lady Diana for it because she received me and was able to give me a lot of experience. She run through her roster and she makes her itinerary for what the artist will do. And she brought me to meet Dillie. And when she brought me to meet Dillie, he was meeting with another producer, and I think they were going back and forth over some tracks, and whatever was being said, I was in agreement with Dillie. And Dillie said, yeah man, you know, see, the girl have sense. I mean, I say, yeah, him like me. So I was listening to some tracks, and he was like, you know, you liking these tracks? And I said, yeah, man, I love these tracks. Not knowing that he would afford me the opportunity to record for him. And by the time I was like, yeah, I love this track. I love this one, this Queen Majesty. And I love this one. Him call it the Elevate Rhythm. And, you know, he definitely gave Lady Diana a talk. And she was like, you know, you want a voice? And I was like, yes, I would love to be able to voice. I called John Screw. I was like, John Screw, me have a voice for Stingray, you know, come only voice for Tabat Productions before. So he was like, okay. And I was very comfortable. Dillie is a very laid back person. When he asked me, you know, what am I going to do? I was like, you know, I love the Queen Majesty track, and I'm going to actually sing back the Queen Majesty song, but I'm going to sing King Majesty. And he was like, okay, brilliant. Let's do it, you know. And we changed around some of the words, and before you know it, we went back another day. It wasn't the first day that we met. We went back to Dillie another day and recorded King Majesty, and man,
in a Soul Rebel style.
In a Soul Rebel style, may I tell you. It was a joy to just sing to the kings too, because I feel like I don't know if there's enough reggae songs admonishing and loving on the male gender. I don't think so. And I was like, you know what? I want to set a standard. And that is definitely the beginning of that standard that I wanted to set. Yeah.
Well, I think you've definitely made that version your own.
Thank you.
More than 60 years after the original was recorded by Curtis Mayfield and the Impressions.
Yes, definitely. When I started to do the research, I realized Curtis Mayfield did it, the Impressions did it, Techniques did it, Uniques did it, Heavy D did it. My favorite is Dennis Brown, though. My favorite is the Dennis Brown version. And I think when I was doing mine, I wanted to sound like Dennis Brown. Like, I feel like some places in me, I'm a girl Dennis Brown. So, and I love what he did with it. I love how he sang his endings and his riffs. And so I've patterned a lot of Dennis Brown's style. I love reggae singing. You know, I love how the man them sing the reggae music and the woman them sing the reggae music. And so I wanted to be a part of that world. And I think King Majesty gave me an opportunity to really cement myself in that world, yeah, and be a part of a long culture of that song.
That's rhythm.
Yeah.
Well, I think that rhythm juggling, it had quite a lot of other artists on it, people like Dillie Ranks, Medison, Sandra Cross, the Blackstone. So, yeah, your version is definitely up there. Trust me.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Earlier this year, you also released a video. A beautiful video that I believe was recorded in Florida.
Yes. It's actually, I don't even think it's a month old as yet.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very recent. I worked with Audie Silcott, an amazing filmmaker out of Florida. And it was just a beautiful combination. I met him through one of my brethren named Lion Star. Big up yourself, Lion Star. Lion Star Studio is a place that I got to record a lot of dubs because I did like 50 million King Majesty dubs. Let me tell you something. Work. This past year has been the most work I've ever put in, and I think it was because of King Majesty. More dubs than I've ever, instead of recording songs, I've actually been recording dubs all year long. Non-stop dubs. If I did ever collect a money, well, may I tell you, but I'm sure money will come, you know, because I learned from those original people that you have to do it for the love. You have to do it for the love. Like Chronic say, you can't do it for the likes. I can't do it for money. Yeah, and I've definitely proven to myself that I'm not here for money. I'm not here for fame. I really put in the work, and I'm very proud of what I've been able to do with King Majesty. So when we got to the video, it was interesting because I wasn't sure what we were going to be able to do. Couldn't afford to do anything flamboyant or big, you know. So we only did two dress changes. 2 outfit changes. The first outfit is an outfit made by my mom. So big up Christine, Mommy Christine. She's been my dressmaker all my life. And she's a very fabulous creative. And the second outfit was put together by my stylist, J Cash Jewels. And even the jewelry that I wore in the outfit that my mom made, J Cash Jewels really created that whole look. We worked as a team. And when we came together for the video launch, it was such an exciting experience because we really did our project and we put it out there, and we got enough big up from people like the John FXs and other persons in Florida. Really gave us a lot of love for that. Audie is in Florida, so I knew that I would actually have to do that in Florida. You know, when we start to get some money and stuff, we can start to fly out and do more things in other places, because I'll be working with Audie a lot to bring a lot of these songs to life. When we did King Majesty, we initially were going to have a king that, you know, a king that was big and important, but he never ended up showing up. So I found another very important king called DJ SOS, and he is a DJ out of Jamaica, New York, Florida. And he was able to just come in and be so humble. And I think the video is just sweet and beautiful. We didn't do anything that was out of the way. We were very modest. I just wanted to present, you know, make reggae proud. Really wanted to make reggae proud. And I believe the film was shot in 4K, just a top of the line film that Audie brought to us, you know, and it was just a beautiful experience to bring King Majesty to life. Yeah.
And remind our viewers, The video is available on your YouTube channel.
The video is currently available on the YouTube channel. That's The Soul Rebel, THEE_SOUL_REBEL. And that's the same name on Instagram and TikTok. And you can go and see the video in its entirety over there. We're going to start putting it on some streaming services and so on very soon. I believe we're going to be doing that between September so that people can watch it on TV in Jamaica, in the Caribbean, all over, and just kind of engage a little bit more so people can see who Soul Rebel is. Yeah.
Now, as a rising artist, in terms of promoting yourself, it's all about online, social media. Big time. How easy or difficult is that for you?
Well, to be honest, I'm new to the space when it comes to social media, so I'm learning a lot. One of the things that my PR in Jamaica has me do, initially I thought, I can't believe it, he's a crazy man. He was like, you need to upload a lot more content, you know, because I wasn't uploading as much content, and he would enforce it every day. He would call and say, how many uploads have you done today, whatever. And I really saw my social media grow big time, from like 1,000 to almost like 2,000 now.
Okay.
So it's crazy when I go to some people's social media and I see 200,000 and 300,000. I'm like, when will I get there? But one of the things I learned from the Soul Defenders and learned from Linstead, St. Catherine, is patience, you know. So I have a lot of patience and I'm putting in the work. So I know things will come to be the way they're supposed to be. But social media is difficult for me. Sometimes when I think somebody is going to embrace something and I'm going to see like 100 likes, I might see 3 like, 4 like, 15 like, 25 likes. And then I put up something else that's probably more flashy. And then you see 150 likes on it, you know. So I can't really read people's minds, to be honest, but I just try my best, you know. I've linked my Facebook to my Instagram, so whatever I put out on Facebook. Whatever I put out on Instagram automatically goes to Facebook. And so it's just been kind of growing it slowly but surely. The YouTube channel, very new to the space. When I released King Majesty, I probably had like 41 subscribers to my YouTube. Now I have like 240 subscribers, and that's been like steady pace for the past 3 weeks.
So it's growing.
It's growing. I've never had 1,000 likes on 1,000 views on anything on my YouTube, and I had videos up from Sound the Alarm, Ibamar show that I did in Jamaica. That was one of the big stages that I performed on. And I also did this one show with Isis Miller called Jamaica Music Conference, and I had like a couple hundred on them. Once I did that King Majesty video, I started to see thousands, and right now I think we're at like 6.3K on King Majesty for just having a couple hundred subscribers. So I'm very, very glad to see that social media is growing. What we do as a team, we talk about, especially in Jamaica, Al-Kebilan enforces being in contact with the street. So we got to Stone Love, we got to Hot Mondays, we got Bossy Tuesday, we got Weddy Wednesday, we got Rubber Thursday. We got to Pontop Grill, where I was able to perform for Star Trail Crew and them over at Pontop. Boombox Fridays, you know, and we just keep on rotating it. Boom Sundays. And so even if I don't perform, we go to the events and we're in the space, so that we're working the street. So and him introduced me to a lot of people in the street, so we get to know people in the street. So we're working the radio, we're working the street, and we're working social media online. Yeah, big time. Yeah. So just putting forward my best effort, you know, and working with the strategy that my team is coming up with.
So there's one thing that's missing at the moment: the collab.
Oh yeah, my goodness, sure. I want it, you know, but King Majesty take over my life. King Majesty make me can't do nothing else. I've been King Majestying the entire 2022 and 2023. But I hope to be able to do something with, I hope that I can do something with Christopher Ellis. He's such an important person in this space to me right now, because my dad really respected his father. And one of the last performances that Alton Ellis had was with a show called Roots Rock Reggae Tradon that John Screw had in Linstead. And Alton Ellis came out and performed, and Christopher came out and performed. He's not gonna remember me from them time there because I was just very young at that time. But I performed too, do my two little something, man, you know, do my little Natural Woman and my Shaka Khan and, and do my I Shall Sing, you know, until I was able to do original tracks, you know, of late. But I would love to be able to work with Christopher Ellis. One thing I've grown in is understanding myself as an energy. And I realize that whatever I think or whatever I want for myself, it comes to be, it manifests, it finds its way to me. So I'm manifesting a Christopher Ellis track, a combination. I'm manifesting I'm manifesting a Charlie Blacks track. I met Charlie Blacks at Big Yard, courtesy of Al Kebilan, and it was just a really nice vibe. I'm manifesting Egyptian, you know, I'm manifesting, I actually hope that I can work with anyone in the business who has a positive outlook and anyone who is not selling their soul or just after money. You know what I mean? I just want things to be as authentic as possible. And I want to do stuff that I'm really proud of. I don't want to take off my clothes to get attention. I don't want to sing naked or slackness or certain type of music to get attention. I want to get the attention for being authentic and for really loving roots rock reggae music to the bone, because I really love roots rock reggae.
I think we can definitely see that just from the passion by which you're sort of sharing your life experiences. We know that roots reggae is your calling.
Absolutely, yeah, man.
Yeah. There's another song that you recorded while you were in London last year, the beautiful song called Destiny on the Elevate rhythm, again sharing the same rhythm as people like Busy Signal,
right,
Shardell Roden, Public Report.
Yes, I think that Elevate rhythm is just magnificent. It gave me a vibe. It gave me a it made me feel like I was going to be like a Steel Pulse or like a Black Uhuru. I remember say a girl is singing a Black Uhuru too, you know. So I was like, yeah, this give me a nice reggae vibe. And actually, I recorded that song in Jamaica.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so I got the rhythm, Stingray. I said I wanted it to record. I didn't get a chance to record it here, and I actually recorded it at Sly and Robbie House studio, the One Pop recording.
Red Hills Road.
One Pop Music, Red Hills Road. Yeah, you know what I go on with Rory.
Okay.
Rory over at One Pop was the engineer and basically helped me to vocally produce that song. And, you know, big up to Sly Dunbar. I've never officially met Robbie Shakespeare, but Sly Dunbar really is a very special individual. Sly loves Ersage, and he uses it. Him say, "Mega ton millionaire off it," so we are going to see. I work with Rory. Rory is one of the distributors of the product. So in the front of the Red Hills music studio, there's like a little store.
Yep.
And my products are there. Okay. Yeah, that's.
Well, the next time I'm there, I'm going to look for them.
Look for them. Yeah, man, my products are there. And very big support from Rory. Rory recorded, they recorded the Destiny track, and we sent it back to Stingray, mix it down, and it made it just in time for the release of the Elevate rhythm. And I love it. I especially love Busy Signal tune because it's talking about consciousness. And that's one of the things. I think that's just what we're missing. I think if some of the youths did some conscious music and some of them trap music there, it would make a difference. Yeah, because reggae music is about consciousness. It's about love for one another. It's not about drinking alcohol. It's not about having sex. We've never had to do that. I think dancehall had its time in the 80s and 90s with the Shabarangs and so on, where the music has gone lewd. And I believe that there's a space for lewd music, right? But you shouldn't have to bleep out everything to just play a radio version. I don't believe in it. And sometimes you have to go and actually record a clean version just so that it can be played. And it's crazy because at the end of the day, when I hear students or children singing the songs and they bleep out a part of it, you might as well did say the bad word because you're saying it in your mind. So I think we really have to be careful with what we're putting out there and how we're doing it, because we don't have to do it like that. And there's so much more to our music and our culture than we are presenting right now. Yeah.
I think it's a little bit like the 90s dancehall you were talking about. You know, some of those artist people, like say General Degree, they were on the edge. They used to take it to the edge, but they never used to cross over it.
Right.
Whereas now, there isn't even that edge. The artists are just over the fence, straight out.
Them just a jump off of the cliff. And you know what it is? It's musical suicide. Like you said, there is no edge. They're not tiptoeing. They're not on the fence. It is musical suicide. And it's killing the music. You know what I mean? So when you hear certain things get popular in hip hop, instantly you're going to hear like a dancehall version of it. You know what I mean? And so I keep saying to them, yo, Cool Kirk came from Jamaica. Dirty Bookman come from Jamaica and got Haiti go cause a revolution. You know what I mean? Big up to Desaline same way, because him really cut off the head them to make the revolution happen. You understand? Get to know what the foundations are. I think some of us are too quick to become internet sensations and to become a dancehall sensation. Some people are saying, oh, them I make the money, I feel them tune I play. And it's true. When you listen to certain radio stations, especially on a Friday evening, you hear all of the most negative things you could possibly hear in your life. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because reggae, that's not what reggae is about. That's not what I know dancehall to be about either. I know dancehall to be that place where you meet and you deal with the reggae music. And then you have man like Admiral Bailey and those man where come forward, and even to bring it up to our era with Tony Curtis and Jigsy King. They were able to do some things, like I said, they would go to the edge, but they weren't necessarily jumping over it, you know? Because I think that we could all come outside naked, like back in the day, in Africa, and just cover up the front and the back, and you know what I mean? But the reality is we're not in the Garden of Eden.
True.
We're in the Garden of Consciousness, where persons are understanding that to bear yourself is to be more than just naked. It's like it's celebrating shame. It's making shame popular and making, you know, negative things like the use of drugs. Because who wants to celebrate using drugs? Who wants to celebrate alcohol when we know I've seen my grandfather, like how they suffer from after abusing alcohol. So I'm not saying that you can't drink or whatever, but who wants to celebrate alcoholism? So I think we have to go and check what the things are that we're celebrating and that we're pushing, you know. And that's probably one of the reasons why it take a soul rebel so long to come to the forefront of music, where I can be doing all this different type of music and only few people know what the origins of soul rebel is. Some people don't know about King Majesty. Them that know say soul rebel ever existed before that. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I'm not gonna go down certain roads. It doesn't mean that we can't be sexy. You know, I love embracing my femininity. You know, I will wear certain revealing clothes, but I'm never going to come out fully naked. You understand? And if we're there at the beach, then you can wear a bathsuit. You understand? But there's no way we're not going to be at the beach and have on a bathsuit. It not going to happen.
Very, very true. Coming months, what do they have in store? What's the plan?
Oh, goodness. The plan is to build the social media. We want a lot more people to know about Soul Rebel. We want to get way more rotation of the music on different platforms. We want to go further into Europe, you know. We want to go further into South America, further into the Asian market. We want to become known. I don't just want to drop songs for dropping song's sake. I don't want to drop an EP for dropping it, for saying I have an EP. And I don't want to drop an album just to say I have an album. I want people to love every single song. So don't be surprised if you probably don't hear an album or see the EP release all until the end of the year, because we want to make sure that people are in tuned. I don't want my music to go up and sit down on the shelf and dust up. No, I want it to be celebrated. I want people to embrace it. I really want those combinations. Christopher Ellis, me I beg you, no. You know, I hope we can do something to really bring Soul Rebel to some new audiences, because I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it for a reggae industry to embrace a Soul Rebel. Yeah, man, definitely.
Well, look, we're definitely going to continue supporting you in terms of your music. I want to give a big shout to Lady D and the Music Media Management family for making this happen as well.
Thank you, Lady D. Thank you. I just want to also say that Music Media Management is very humble. Lady D is very humble. She's a stickler for time. I love being around her. She helps to direct Soul Rebel in many different ways. She'll say, Soul Rebel, you don't need so much makeup. Or she'll say, Soul Rebel, you don't have to change who you are. You don't have to be like this person or that person. Soul Rebel, you're this, you're that. She really believes in me. And it makes me feel so happy to have a person that is around me, that believes in me. Because when I'm in the UK, I'm on the road hard, you know. She go harder than me. I'm running behind her in the train station. Like, she's not going to say to the left and right, me better know for me and go. If I am on the road somewhere, she's like, we have to leave by XYZ time. If I don't reach by a certain time, you better find your way to the blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And I love that.
She's working you hard.
She's working me, but it's getting the best out of me, you know. I also want to big up Raomi Alkebulan, my PR in Jamaica, because, you know, before it was very difficult in Tabat Productions to get people to embrace Soul Rebel. And because of his experience, he's been able to get Soul Rebel known to a lot more people, a lot more industries. I want to big up Cool FM. They did a fabulous piece on me on their live Tuesdays. Bridge 99.1. Lady Diana stay all the way in London and make sure say the bridge had Soul Rebel. You know, RFM, I was able to do the buzz courtesy of Al Kebilan. So my team is small, but they're working hard. And I think I'm ready. I'm fit. I think even sometimes people message me this morning and say, when did you rest? How is whatever? We have not really done any special rest. I mean, from the day before Carnival, go right back till now. We've been on the road every single day. That's one of the reasons I haven't yet seen Dillie. I was hoping to see him on the weekend, but he's going to be busy. I believe tomorrow will be the first day that I don't really have much to do. And I still think that I'm going to have one more interview tomorrow. Wow. But it's not as much as the traveling. I might just go out to Peckham and hang out over by the Rye Lane Market for a little bit with Royal Maroon Herbs. Like I said, well, I didn't say it, but Irsage skincare products that I produce is now available at Royal Maroon Herbs in the Rye Lane Market in Peckham. So I might go there and finish up some interviewing and do some stuff out there and visit some family out there tomorrow. And then by next week, I'm back into Florida. And then after Florida, back into Jamaica. Yeah.
I always say it's always good to leave things outstanding because it gives you a reason to come back.
Yes. For real, yeah, because like, you know, I have to link back with Dillie. Everybody I call for a Stingray album, you know it go. For me, I'm a writer, you know, and all I need to do is just connect with something and the lyrics start flowing. So it'll be beautiful to see, you know, what comes forward out of Soul Rebel being in the UK. Yeah.
Look, I want to thank you for coming over and sharing some of your musical journey. A big thanks to Lady D Music Media Management family as well. We're going to look out for these collabs that you're talking about, and of course more great music. One love.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Shrek, for having me. I've been watching reggae interviews and I've just been wishing and hoping, and to be able to sit in with you today has been another beautiful full circle manifestation. Thank you, Shrek, for having me.
One love.
One love.
Reggae interviews. Word sound power.